Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Chakras and Cuss Words podcast. My name is Katherine, and I am your host. And today we are talking about black cat energy and how women can basically embody that black cat energy that so many of us seen as very much like a mysterious energy. Let's be honest, the black cat energy is a little bit different. And what's interesting is when I first started seeing this trend about like entering your black cat energy era, I was like, what is this all about? Or what is this all about? Because me personally, I have always seen cats as a very spiritual type of energy, an energy that's really kind of centered around multiple cultures of where cats have been seen as influence and areas of mystic, especially in the energy of the realms. So when we look at the energy of cats have a significant role in spirituality across, like I said, many cultures, many cultural practices. And this energy has been for many times, like ancient times, in the Egyptian times. There's a lot of cats being resembled in a lot of artifacts and even hieroglyphics. So their mystical presence is very much like undeniable. We cannot deny that cats aren't powerful. A lot of people believe that cats actually are seen as guardians and energy protectors, and many believe that cats actually hold some type of source where they are able to absorb, I guess you could say, toxic energy or energy that wouldn't necessarily be beneficial to certain individuals, and they're able to really create like a spiritual protection on certain people. They often are seen as guardians and people who almost need like an extra source of, I guess you could say, like almost like an extra source of protection, and they help ward off a lot of unwanted spirits and a lot of unwanted negative energy. So cats have really been seen as mystical and divine connections to the area of the universe, also to the energy of history. In ancient Egypt, cats were associated with the goddess Bastet, and also the deity of that energy resembled home, fertility, and also protection. Many alchemists, like I consider myself an alchemist, mystics and modern mystics and even witches do keep cats very much centered as like a spiritual connection and even as a spiritual companion. So it's very interesting when I was, learning about this black cat energy and how women can embody this black cat energy. It did make me really think of like the modern mystic. And I feel like some of the women don't really acknowledge the background that the black cat has. So I always paint. The painting is like one of my biggest hobbies. And I usually start to paint right around the time of like fall, and also like for Dias de los Muertos, I will always paint something. And one year I decided I am going to paint my black cat, and this is my black cat that I painted. I didn't name her, but I probably should. Isn't she cute? So for those who are watching the video format, you can see my little black cat that I painted. And I like having a black cat in the home, even though I don't have a live black cat, just the area of resemblance of protection that the black cat brings. It makes me wonder why this black cat energy is so much profound right now, why so many people are wanting to learn more about the black cat energy. So many witches, like I said, many witches or alchemists or intuitives love to have that ability to create areas of protection. And one of the protective sources and guardians is the black cat. So the symbolism of mystery behind the black cat shows a self-resilience. It also shows an energy of wisdom and that energy of balance between the area of connection with the universe and also with the area of the unknown and the mystical world. So a lot of people also believe that there is a past life and reincarnation type of energy and alchemy that comes with the black cat and cats in general. And some cultures believe that cats are old souls. And I definitely think that cats do have a lot of old soul energy and that they've often have already lived here on earth for many centuries and many decades. So when we are comparing, and this is how we're going to talk about the energy with women, because when we are comparing the black cat versus the dog, or the cat energy versus the dog, the feminine versus the masculine in some ways, the feminine is seen as a little bit more wiser and a little bit more aware versus where the dog is a little bit more non-aware and especially non-aware to the external factors. Where with a cat is aware of the external factors, the external things in the environment, and also the external events that are occurring. And they are more aware in areas of enlightenment versus a dog. A dog is very much almost I guess you could say a little bit self-centered and a little bit more in the energy of self. So in Buddhists and in Buddhism and also in Hinduism, cats are sometimes seen as spiritual guides that can help humans really journey and learn messages and find areas of wisdom through their pathways on this planet, on this earth, on this life path. And we see that there is a messenger energy with the cats between the two worlds. And this is betrayed in the energy of the universe and also the energy of the mystics, that the cats can often walk between the physical and also the spiritual world as well. So it is believed that a lot of times the cats see, as one might say, that energy that may feel a little bit toxic or may feel like a little bit negative, and they tend to absorb that energy. So a lot of times you will see that cats sometimes will be drawn to people and they will always be with certain people, and it's because they are protecting them and they are clearing that energy. So in a lot of spiritual practices, we always will hear of cats, and especially black cats, healing individuals' energies or having this ability to kind of cleanse that energy because they are natural emotional healers. So especially if somebody is going through something, they tend to have those healing frequencies. And of course, there's tons and tons of superstition between the cats, regular cats, and also the black cat. So we all know that black cats are seen as very powerful protectors and also good luck charms. Of course, there is a lot of negativity that comes with black cats because people believe that they are creatures of the underworld. And there is a lot of people who actually have to protect their own black cats and also protect black cats in their community because people will try to do harmful things to them, especially around Halloween, because they feel like there's some type of evil energy. But we all know that black cats aren't necessarily evil energy at all. They are very much mystical and magical energy. So, the symbolism between the energies of wisdom and transformation really lies in the area of the black cat. Also, seeing a black cat in your dreams can bring a spiritual connection and a spiritual meaning that often relates to areas of independence and reflection and messages from the spirit world. And I think it's so interesting that women are really like trying to get into the area of their divine feminine and also in the energy of like almost like their shadow state and understanding the energy of the places that feel a little bit more mystical and magical to them. And that's how this whole black cat era kind of took place. So I've been seeing like on TikTok, a lot of women are talking about be a black cat. You don't want to be a golden retriever. And that makes so much sense. On a spiritual aspect, yes, many of us want to be a black cat because the black cat is seen as the guardian, also seen as a protector, and has a lot of intuition. We also see that the black cat doesn't necessarily chase anybody. The black cat won't chase their companionship, right? Where versus a golden retriever would. And a golden retriever would kind of be that energy that feels a little bit more like choose me, pick me, take me out on a date. Also, I thought it was hilarious when women were comparing black cat energy from the girls from Sex in the City. So there was like this little comparisons where they were talking about Carrie was a golden retriever versus like Samantha. Samantha was the black cat of Sex in the City. She was very mysterious. She didn't want to be tied down. She didn't want to like have a boyfriend. She was like out there doing her thing. She was protecting her own personal insight in her own area of like transformation, right? And she was moving authentically through the pathway of who she was in her black cat energy. Like Samantha really had that metaphysical and psychological energy that felt very independent, which is kind of what a black cat represents, and has that guardianship of guarding her own energy versus letting others take advantage of her or letting others endower her energy. Where we saw with Carrie from Sex and the City was a little bit more of, I guess you could say, not a black cat energy and like the golden retriever energy. Ooh. Where the golden retriever energy just is not the same as the black cat energy. The golden retriever energy is very much like needs attention, wants to be loved, wants to be asked out on a date, is kind of always worried about like what their companion is doing. And what's interesting is I was just reading this little thing where it said that dogs dream of their owners. And I could totally see a dog dreaming of their owner. I wouldn't necessarily think a cat would be dreaming of their owner. A cat is probably dreaming about like what window are they going to nap in for, the best sunlight? What birds are they going to chase? They're probably going to think about like their next meal, but I don't necessarily see a cat dreaming of their owner versus a dog. I definitely see a dog dreaming about their owner. When's the owner going to take me for a walk? When's the owner going to get home to play with me? When's the owner going to feed me? So a lot of energy around codependency. And that's kind of how, unfortunately, the golden retriever energy is seen as having this energy where it's like you almost want to be codependent, or you really, really want this companionship, that energy of mystic and magic kind of vanishes. It just kind of goes a little bit far, far away. And that might not necessarily be the energy that you want to have when you are dating, because and even when you're married. So even when you're married, you don't want to give off that golden retriever energy so much. You want to give off still that black cat energy. And how do you do that? Okay, so we have to understand that there is that energy of power and transformation and mystery and divine feminine energy that every woman has, right? Especially with our energy of like shadow and our area of movement. But what the black cat doesn't do is the black cat doesn't suppress. The black cat doesn't basically create this energy where it feels like they are being submissive to their owner or their partner. The black cat is always going to be thinking about themselves. And I know that sounds a little bit kind of intrusive for somebody who is married, because they might be like, oh, but wait. No. I'm married. No, honey, just because you're married doesn't mean that you let go of your black cat energy. The black cat energy is still seen as that area of independence. So for instance, what do you do that would make you more of like a golden retriever? It would definitely be always, I guess you could say, giving the upper hand to the spouse. So for instance, if the spouse is always the one making all the decisions, then there is a conflict with the energy. There's also a conflict with the energy of independence that the black cat has now given up. And that mysterious nature of what is it that she's thinking? I wonder what she's doing. I wonder what is her next move, her next goal, or stuff like that. It kind of creates a shift where it's almost like, well, we'll let the area of the spouse always choose certain things. For instance, like a black cat energy isn't going to devote every single weekend to her partner. And that might sound like a little, oh, wow, but it's true. The black cat energy is still going to make time to enjoy the things that she likes. And that would be like girls' night. That would also be like hobbies. That would be, maybe just relaxing. The black cat energy has enough strength and also power to say, I don't want to do that. Where the golden retriever energy is going to go wherever the spouse takes them. And that is a little bit of the difference between the two energies. And we have to remember that when we are looking at divine black cat energy, it is really much of almost like an archetype. It is an archetype of having that energy that feels less submissive and also feels more powerful in the feminine. So for instance, like archetypes that you could look at would be Kali from the Hindu practices, Lilith from astrology, like your black moon Lilith, or also Lilith from the Bible and also Jewish folklore. Also Hecate, which is Greek mythology and is centered around, which is interesting because Hecate actually is kind of like the witch of all witches, and she does use dogs, but she is almost like the leader of the pack. So it's kind of like dog canine energy that she embraces. And then also Oya, which is Yubra tradition, which represents energies of destruction and transformation and fierce feminine power. So all of these goddesses kind of hold this energy of black, dark, mystical, magical, shadowy type of energy that has a lot of independence. We have to remember that black cat energy is about independence, in all honesty. Really about a lot of independence. The energy of feeling that cosmic gateway of being tied into not just the energy of the natural world here on earth, the natural area of world, but also the energy of the metaphysical, and having a little bit more center of being centered around your own goals, your own independence on a spiritual and conscious level. Black cat energy is also that energy where sometimes women have always been taught to suppress it. So you would have definitely a hard time tapping into this energy if you still have a witch's wound. If you learn more about healing your witch's wound, make sure you check out my podcast. I have numerous videos on healing your witch's wound. We also have to remember that a lot of times women have this area of where their feminine and their sexuality is usually in some forms or ways made to suppress them and also made to make them feel like embarrassed or ashamed, or people have taken advantage of them, sometimes from a early childhood and also sometimes from areas of partnerships where that feminine wisdom has kind of been suppressed for a few years or even for a few decades, depending on if this is past life trauma. So it is definitely a time that you're going to want to heal your witch's wound. You're going to want to step into that area of your own tuition and also step into your energy of power that resembles your black cat energy, which is, in all honesty, that energy of independence. We have to remember that a lot of women are almost made to fear their dark energy. And when I make dark energy, that usually is the energy of seduction. And there's also that energy of area of, I guess you could say, power, of the energy of their mystical balance and their mystical practices that have been made to make them feel like shameful, fearful, or even maybe possibly judged. So we have to remember that with all energies, that if you're tapping into your black cat energy, and that is an energy of independence that you really want to gain, being a little bit more mysterious, being a little bit more magical, being a little bit more voiceful, being a little bit more content with being alone, because that is a resemblance that the black cat does show. So when we are looking at black cat energy for women, we have to remember that the woman is content with being alone. For the most part, cats, they're pretty content being alone. They're not like super at home anxious. Like let's be honest. I am a dog mom, okay? Maybe one day I will own a cat, but I am a dog mom. But never ever have I ever heard anybody ever tell me, and I'll say, I got to go home. I got to check on my dog. I got to check on my dog. I got to walk my dog tank. I got to do, all these things for my dog. Never ever have I ever heard anybody said, I have to go check on my cat. Cats don't give a fuck. Like, a cat is at home sunbathing, chilling, like maybe making a mess of your house, but a cat is not like, where's this damn owner at? So that energy of independence is very much there with the cat. Also, when we are looking at our black cat energy, we also want to look at our energy of anger and reminder that it is okay to get angry. You mess with a cat, you pull a cat's tail, that cat is going to scratch your ass, is going to literally scratch, hiss at you, and let you know, back the fuck up. And also our energy of independence and ambition and self-worth. But energy is very independent is because they are naturally almost like an ancestral strength and this energy of protection, and they are protecting themselves, but sometimes they are kind of seen as that healer. And healers have to be careful because healers tend to want to heal everybody. And sometimes when we are a healer, we tend to want to heal a lot of people who, in all honesty, don't deserve our attention and don't deserve our deep protection and don't deserve our connection. They don't deserve our affection. Honey, they don't deserve anything that ends with ishin. No affection, no connection, no protection, and they don't deserve it because a lot of healers tend to give so much. They give so much. They clear a lot of unintentionally, they clear a lot of ancestral trauma, and that's what black cat energy does. So if you are a black cat, and you are a black cat, you are somebody who wants to dive into your black cat energy, it is important that you look at that ancestral trauma and definitely go out and try to make steps to heal it and also heal those generational curses. So we have to remember that the black cat is here for protecting the self and also the energy of the ancestral collective. So it is very important that the woman who is diving deep into that black cat energy acknowledges when people are taking advantage, when she is giving too much to a taker and not another giver. You have to remember that the dark feminine black cat embraces her darker emotions, and sometimes that could come in areas of rage, grief, and also be a little bit rebellious. So that's why they have to be centered on the collective healing of the generational curses and also the interpersonal areas of the shadow. Also, when we are looking at being balanced with your black cat energy, you're definitely going to want to look at areas of meditation, understanding your hidden emotions and unlocking your inner strengths. So the crystals I would use for tapping into my black cat energy, definitely a black onyx. I love the onyx. I love the obsidian, and then also a tourmaline. I even have a black amethyst, which is one of my most favorite crystals. I love it. And when you are having a lot of black cat energy and you are centered in that energy of dark crystals, they are seen as protective forces, and we also have to remember that they are seen as guardian forces. So I feel like any woman who would be centered in her black cat energy or wanting to get to know her black cat energy is probably having some problems with the relationship, where they are being seen more as being stuck in that energy of being codependent and not being as independent as they would like to be. So you are definitely breaking generational curses, because most of the time, a lot of these curses and a lot of these traits, unfortunately, are learned from the mother wound and also learned from the womb of the mother. So there is definitely some area of generational curses. I tend to look at certain things that, let's say, have happened with the women in my ancestral lineage, and I've been like, I don't necessarily know if I want to keep that generational trait up. I think that's something I'm going to want to dispel and get rid of. So that is something that the black cat energy definitely does. So we focus for the black cat energy would definitely be the root chakra, the solar plex, and the sacral chakra. I said that in the wrong order. Root chakra, sacral chakra, solar plex chakra, and the throat chakra would definitely be the four that I would really want you to work on for black cat energy, but all the chakras as a whole, because the black cat energy is independent. And when we are independent, our alignment and our energetic cycles need to show that independence. So you would also work on the heart chakra, which are energies of boundaries and trust. So a black cat, we have to remember, black cat energy is very independent. Black cat energy isn't going to be naggy. Black cat energy isn't going to be like, where are you? Why don't you take me with you? I want to go with you. A black cat energy is going to be like, oh, cool, you're going out with your friends. That sounds fun, because the black cat energy knows that they have their own independent things that they want to do. You don't see a black cat asking their owner, why don't you take me? The black cat's like, whatever, bye. So definitely look at that energy of having trust, because if you are in a relationship where you don't have any trust, you can dive all into the black cat energy and it will not do you any good. Also have that energy of boundaries, because a black cat definitely has their boundaries. A black cat definitely knows what it is that they want to do exactly. Like a black cat is not coming to you. Like, come here, kitty, kitty, kitty. The black cat is like on the fence. Is like, absolutely not. Absolutely not am I coming over to you. You are so crazy. No, unless you have like some catnip, I am not coming to you. So definitely look at that. Also, the throat chakra. The black cat energy of the throat chakra also resembles a lot with the wounded, the witch's wound. The witch's wound, or also known as that wounded energy, really shows up in the areas of communication that women have been told and made to feel that they need to suppress, and be more submissive. So the black cat energy is going to tell their partner how they feel, tell their partner what they want to do, and deal with the consequences or deal with the circumstances of the relationship. But the black cat is not going to not express them. I mean, just look at the black cat. The black cat purrs, and the black cat, by it purring and humming, it brings that automatic energy that feels very relaxing, right? And that is something that a woman should learn to do, is to have the ability to automatically relax her golden retriever. To relax that baby down, to basically create that area where they feel safe, they feel relaxed, they feel comfortable. And a lot of times the woman or the black cat can just do it with her words, her energy of purring, as one might say, and her little meow. So have fun with that throat chakra, obviously. Understanding what it is that you want to communicate. And then, of course, the third eye chakra for understanding your intuition, for stepping into that leadership role of knowing what it is that you want without any fears, and also harnessing that area of intuition and that energy of your spiritual gifts so easily as you balance it all through to the crown chakra. So let's look at some quick tips. So the black cat, number one, is independent. Black cat understands that in the relationships, they are to be valued, and there's this energy of independence that shines through. They resist being controlled. And for most black cats, that comes very natural. We also have to remember that the black cat, when we are looking at that energy, especially with dating, the black cat doesn't play any games. No, the black cat is not playing any fucking games when it comes to dating. So the black cat is literally like, if I want to call him, I'll call him. If I don't want to call him, I won't call him. Like, a black cat is not upset if she doesn't get a good morning text. She's just like, whatever. The black cat definitely is doing things on their own terms. So the black cat isn't making themselves so easily available to the person that wants to take them out. It's not like, oh, yes, please take me out. I'm ready right now. Come pick me up. It's like, oh, okay, this is the dates I have available. This is the day I have available. This is the time. The black cat is not going to be like, oh, yeah, here, I have all these days available. Here, please take me. No, the black cat's busy. So make sure you understand that the black cat isn't always around. The black cat stays a mystery. And sometimes this can be hard in the relationship, especially because you guys are getting to know each other, and especially because the relationship is growing. But still, the black cat still remains somewhat of a mystery. I would say I've been married to my husband for, a very long time. Very, very long time. I'm still a mystery to him. He still texts me, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Oh, I love that little golden retriever. So you don't tell everybody what you're doing. You don't give everybody a play-by-play. If I have stuff to do, I have stuff to do, and I'll say, oh yeah, I'm here, I'm there, I'm doing this, or I'm doing that. But I don't need to run my daily itinerary with him the night before. No. A black cat does not do that. A black cat leaves people guessing no matter how long they've known them. Also, we have to remember that the black cat always has some hidden motives, some hidden goals, some hidden secrets. And that necessarily is not a bad thing, especially in a relationship. We also have to remember that the black cat does not mother or baby the golden retriever. Okay. You don't want to be picking out his clothes, buying his deodorant, making sure he flosses his teeth. I mean, men should be doing this on their own. So please don't mother them, okay? Don't mother them. And it is sometimes a little bit hard for the woman to do that, because a lot of women, it is our nature to want to mother these men and show affection to our little golden retrievers, but we can't. We're the fucking black cats, okay? So we also have to remember that the seduction is always there. Every once in a while, you just gotta, pop off and show them what you got. You don't want that energy to go away. You want to surprise them sometimes. You want him to say, oh, wow, I haven't seen this in a while, or, oh, you want to keep it passionate. You do want to keep it sexual. You do want to keep it desireful. And one of the ways you do that is by stop being his mama and stop mothering them. Black cats don't mother the golden retrievers. A little bit more centered in being powerful and alluring. So we still want to be alluring. We still want to have that confidence. We still want to, get up and put on our best perfume and, get up and seem a little bit inspired to be sensual and seductive with our partner. That is a balanced sacral chakra. And if you cannot be sensual and romantic and somewhat affectionate and connective with your partner, then I think that you really need to look at the relationship at a whole. We also have to remember that there is a lot of rejection that might come from the social norms when we are a black cat, because black cats are often seen as bad omens, misunderstood, and a little bit too fucking magical for this damn submissive world. That is okay. If other people don't like you, and especially other women, I would say naturally being a black cat, I would say that the most hate I have ever received is from other women. It's usually not from men. It's usually from other women. They don't understand you. They don't get you. They don't acknowledge you. They might think you're a little bit too, assertive, aggressive, too dominant, whatever it is. They don't like it. And that's usually because they haven't worked through their own shit, and it has nothing to do with you. So be ready to have the area of disapproval and often sometimes rejection from other people when you are in your black cat era. We have to remember that with the black cat, we have to look at that energy of our own red flags. So sometimes when we are a black cat, we can have some of our own red flags. We can be a little bit too independent. We can be a little bit too abrasive. And sometimes this turns into an unhealthy relationship or a negative energy. So as a black cat, that is something that you do have to reflect on. A black cat often acknowledges when the relationship is starting to show red flags and tends to work on those areas, and also acknowledge if the relationship is just not working out. And like I said, if the relationship is just not working out, then you need to acknowledge that and move on. And oftentimes, witchy women, mysterious women, modern mystics are always misunderstood. Our energy, our black cat energy, is seen as a little bit rebellious and seem to make other people uncomfortable. And sometimes that could be very hard for some men. And it could also be very hard for other women as well to basically not be able to embrace their depth of who they are as much as we have. So don't let that affect you, because it does happen. This, I already know I'm a black cat, but definitely you attract people, and people are fascinated with you. A black cat is usually like a magnetic aura. instantly. Mostly people who are like black sheep and also black cats, they have like this magnetic aura. You have a value of independence and personal space that's already kind of, it's not even like it needs to be talked about. It's just there. And it's already showing in the relationship. So that energy is already there. And you also have a strong intuition, and you learn to listen to that intuition. A lot of times the black cat knows when the intuition is at an all-time high, and they learn to listen to it. They learn to see the message of the two worlds, right? Of the two cosmic connections, the mystical world, the underworld, and also the earth world, as one might say. You're naturally a black cat, you just are automatically very protective of your energy. It just kind of happens. It's just something that happens kind of like regardless, right? You don't even know it's happening. It's just happening. So as a black cat, it is very important that you are definitely have your boundaries good and you are centered around your independence, because people will automatically be drawn to you. So women with black cat energy in relationships are powerful. They are just seamlessly intuitive and deeply connected with the energy of transformation. And they are very transformative in their own energies of the mystic, the magic area, and also that magical presence where they don't chase. And in all honesty, most of us don't have to chase energy because the energetic alignment just flows naturally to us. Real quick, I know I just gave some, but real quick are strengthen your intuition. When you are doing black cat emphasis in magic, embrace your dark feminine energy, passions, desires, all the stuff we talked about, music, seduction, all that, and set boundaries. And set boundaries without guilt, and also acknowledge that area of magic that you have, that magnetic aura, and acknowledge that it is okay to be alone, and acknowledge that energy of independence, because that's probably why you are here listening about the energy of the black cat, is because you want to be more aligned with your independence. So really look into that authentic energy of powerful self and that energy of embodying your black cat. So I want to thank everybody for listening to Chakras and Cuss Words podcast. Please comment, like, and subscribe to this podcast, and don't forget to share it with your witchy bestie. Everybody have an amazing day. Bye.